Hey everybody, Logan here. In today's video we're discussing some news that came out about a certain Switch 2 controller. A controller that is exclusive to the Nintendo Switch 2, even though it's a retro-styled controller. Well, that's the GameCube controller for Nintendo Switch Online. GameCube games, as you can see, I have my Nintendo 64 right there, and right off camera is a Super Nintendo one. Those controllers can work with more than just, well, their respective online counterparts, being Nintendo Switch Online, whether you got the NES, the Super NES, or the Nintendo 64. But apparently, it looks like we now have some information saying that, well, the GameCube one will only work with GameCube games. And am I surprised? Not in the slightest. So, when that news blows up, because it will, there's going to be a certain controller, certain style of controller. This one specifically, I have a feeling, might see a drastic increase in sales. What is that, you say? Well, that is the wireless controller, which is a GameCube-style controller from PowerA. See that? That's the GameCube-esque. That's GameCube. This works with any game. So, they released a version of this quite some time ago and then released a new version with a toad symbol on it. There's also wired versions that they released back in the day that was in black, and now they've released a new one with a Bowser logo on it. Why they've changed it, not sure why, but there were also multicolor versions of these. I think there was a gold, silver, and black released as well in 4-packs and stuff like that, so don't be surprised if we see something like that re-released with this. Now, this is the one that I originally had, and it looks very similar except the Switch logo. I'm going to show you why you're going to be wanting this one, why, even though I have this one, did I buy a new one, and why people will definitely be getting this for the Switch 2, because, hey, Switch controllers are compatible with the Switch 2, even GameCube games, unless they require the C button. But all that out of the way, let's unbox this. I'm going to show you a couple differences between this, why I bought this to replace this, and why you're going to want it for the Switch 2. Here we go. This is the wireless controller, simply titled that, from PowerA, the Super Mario version, compatible with Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, it says, because that's what most people liked using the GameCube-style controller. Now, there's going to be a couple reasons why I think people are going to rush to get this once they realize, well, that Nintendo Switch Online GameCube one isn't compatible with regular Switch games. There's a few concessions in this that allow it to work with regular Switch games and isn't 100% GameCube-styled controller. We'll get into that in a minute. So I'll just take you through the box a little bit. It says it's got a larger D-pad than your standard GameCube. Classic GameCube design, of course, runs on 2 AA batteries. Now, they did give you an extra shoulder button, so you don't have to worry about it again, so it's compatible with pretty much any Switch game, and super fun motion control. So yes, it has gyro, but there is no NFC, there's no rumble, and there's no IR. So you are paying a little bit for this for a lack of features per se, but the MSRP is $59.99. Right now on Amazon, you're looking at $38. You're probably going to get this around that $30-something mark on Amazon at any given time. Not in quite some time have I seen it for above that. I got this one for $35, so it was on sale at Best Buy when I got it. This isn't one that PowerA sent me. It's because I was replacing one I already had. So before we open this, I'm going to show you my current one, and if you're wondering, there's the wired one. The new wired one just has a Bowser symbol right there, and the wired one is significantly cheaper. This sits around $20 to $25. MSRP is $25, but on Amazon you can usually find this for around $20. Don't buy the off-brand ones, the weird don't buy those. Trust me, you're gonna regret it. There's a lot of issues with the sticks and the button inputs. Don't buy those. So like I said, this was the one I originally had, and I was using this consistently for all Switch games. Yes, it took me a little while to get used to the GameCube setup again for Switch games, but I did. Now, the reason I bought a new one is because when I moved, for some reason, one, I left the batteries in it, and they got corroded. It took me a little bit. I don't know how well you can see it, but I cleaned it as well as I could, but there's still some rust and corrosion on the spring. It took me quite a bit to take all this out and clean it up, but I was still worried about I guess the residual effects and long-term effects of the corrosion on the controller. So I stopped using it as much and went to the wired one when I desired to use the GameCube-style. And then once I saw this one, I was like, okay, time to replace, time to get the new one. So right now we're going to open it up for you and take a look, see if it's any different. If you already have the older one like I do, if maybe you had the issue with corrosion. Again, mine, some reason, corroded while I was moving, and I don't know why. I don't know what happened during the move, and so it's been a couple years now that I rarely use it because of that issue, but it had nothing to do with the controller itself. It was whatever happened during the move. So you got two AA batteries. You got your paperwork. Oh, it's in there nice and tight. Here we go. Let's move that aside. Grab the other one. Now the colors are different. You guys see that? This is more of a blue. This is more of the purple. I guess this would be closer to the GameCube Indigo, while this one's straight up just purple. So that, two different colors. Now they have a different plastic feel. This one has a higher gloss matte, if that makes any sense, and this one is a matte. Listen to me. So I don't know if you can really see on the camera, but there is a difference. So there's a bit of a colorway difference, but that's about it. This one's more purple, this one's more blue. But one thing I noticed they did change, that's straight up digital, where the older version had a faux analog feel. They're not analog, but it gave you that faux analog feel. So it feels like you're doing analog until you get boom. They did away with that. I guess people were complaining, hey, it's not really analog. So it's just boom, boom, boom. So a bit different. Sticks feel the same. This is more of a rubberized stick than this one. You can still feel they're both rubberized. This one is just a bit more pronounced in the feel. This is the older style stick. I don't know if you can see it. The ridges on the stick aren't as pronounced as they are here. This one feels more like the classic GameCube one. Buttons feel fine. Buttons feel the same. This is a bit softer. This is a bit clickier. Otherwise, it feels just like a GameCube controller. This is nice. It's not a sticker or anything. It's right on there. It's produced decal just like that. Honestly, this one feels more true to what it is. This one feels more like a GameCube controller, but real digital, faux analog. I was never a big fan of that because it gave you the impression that it was analog, and it's not. But there are a lot of people who are going to want this. I do not know. I do not know at this time, and no one at PowerA has told me whether or not they're coming out with a Switch 2 version of this with Rumble or NFC or the capture button. I do not know. But one thing I do know is all of these controllers will be compatible with the Switch 2. So if you still want to use this for a wide range of games on your Switch or Switch 2, you can. You can use it for all your Switch 1 games, We haven't heard any confirmation about what is compatible when it comes to controllers with Switch 2 games, but from my understanding and everything I've read and done research on up to this point, most games, unless it requires a functionality in the Switch 2 Joy-Con, one of these will be compatible with it. So you won't be able to bring up the camera function or the chat function. So keep that in mind when you are buying one of these. But you will still be able to use a wired or a wireless controller on your Switch 2 that is compatible with your Switch. So if you have, say, the Hori version, you have this one, or if you have any of the other manufacturers that make GameCube style ones. I personally have this one and a Hori pad, that's the GameCube one, the Pikachu version. I do have that one as well, but it's wired, so I do prefer this one. Again, you don't have any rumble. We don't know if Nintendo is going to take away that licensing issue where if you have an officially licensed third-party controller, Nintendo did not allow rumble or any of the companies to put in rumble. But you will see companies like GameSir or 8BitDo or EasySMX or any non-officially licensed controllers all have rumble. So keep that in mind. I'm pretty sure we'll see offerings from 8BitDo or whatnot that are compatible with the Switch 2 with Switch 2 features. But right now, if you want something that will work with the Switch and the Switch 2 and has a GameCube feel, and you can use it on, you know, more than just the Nintendo Switch Online GameCube games, this might be your best bet. I also believe that some people might pick this up and use this, but remember, you are lacking analog triggers on almost any of the controllers. Even the new Switch Pro controller will not have analog buttons, so that's going to be a very big problem. I guess maybe they looked and said, hey, people want trigger locks and they don't really need it. For racing games, trust me, it's a big deal. Someone who plays a lot of racing games, I really don't play racing games on the Switch for that specific reason. I do want my analog triggers. Looks nice, feels nice. Like I said, you can pick this up right now on Amazon for $38.99. Regular price is $59. I would just pick it up on sale and then just hold on to it, keep it until you get your Switch 2 and you want to play those Switch 2 games with this controller. So let me know in the comment section below if you have one of these, if you have one of the older ones, if you have one of the wired ones, or if you plan on picking them up, or if you have the Hori or other third-party companies that make these GameCube controllers. So drop it in the comment section below. Tell me what you guys think. Have you had any problems with this style of controller? Again, like I said, the only issue I had was my own fault. I left the batteries in there when I was moving, and I don't know, maybe the heat or whatnot got to it, but they corroded. So there you go. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, share this video. God bless you all. Like we always say, be legendary. Thanks again.